Leadership Review as a magazine, largely owing to my engagement with the theme of leadership and change management with various entities. The Leadership Review is not a business leadership review, it's a leadership review. In the sense that it looks at government, it looks at policing, it looks at IS officers, it looks at corporates, it looks at bottom of the pyramid, top of the pyramid, it looks at the wisdom traditions of India, it looks at contemporary challenges, it looks at correlating and deriving insights from other parts of the world, benchmarking from other parts of the world. I had a desire to talk about Indian stories of achievement and success. If I'm going to quote a level 5 leader, I want to quote an Indian leader. I don't always want to quote Darwin Smith or somebody else. If I want to talk about challenges at the bottom of the pyramid, the Indian bottom of the pyramid, how has innovation happened there? What are some of the most remarkable stories? When I interview people, or my staff interviews people, in the front end we will have an interview narrative, but in the back end we have consciously embedded frameworks that allow for more rigorous thinking. For example, if I interview the CEO of Acer, at the back of my mind I will have the McKinsey 7S framework. If I interview Sudha Murthy or do a story on Sudha Murthy, I will have the level 5 leader framework at the back end. The reason I embed the framework is because frameworks are situationally transferable, they are intercontextually relevant. Meaning, if you need to drive a certain learning in your space, in your organization, the framework will help you do it. You don't need the originator of the framework to drive that learning for you. Leadership largely because I don't think we do a good job of developing leaders. Look at certain statistics. We have 140 million young people who have the right to graduate every year. The university capacity is only 14 million. 1/10. About 400 million people live below the poverty line. Another 400 are hovering around the poverty line. So you might say, no, you solved the problem of poverty very largely. Actually, you've not. You've not solved any of our major problems in the last 50, 60 years. The responsibility at the order of the leader is extremely substantial. The demographic dividend is on the verge of becoming a demographic disaster. 165 of the 600 districts in India are not governed by the government of India. Recently, I was doing a program for the American Embassy for Fulbright returning scholars. Some of them are working in the bottom of the pyramid space, and they tell me, don't report to the government of India, they report to the comrade. A failure of leadership is something that's going to be disastrous for us. My contention is that the leadership review is an attempt to try and tell stories of success and try and see how we can, in our own spaces, expand the influence of what comprises leader and leadership. And the stories that we bring about, of course, from all domains, and I think that they have the power to influence and give us insights on how transformation of the leadership space in our own organizations and in our own country happens. Every 3 months or so, we prefer to bring out a mega issue. A mega issue is the one that focuses on a theme. For example, the one sitting in your kit has focused on the theme of leadership derailment. Why do leaders derail? When I look at leaders in the United States and Europe, why they derail for very different reasons. Indian leaders derail for very different reasons. We don't have stories of Indian leaders of derailment, which means I don't have biographical correlations outside of me to try and figure out what could be my organizational derailment or my personal derailments. Our next issue will be on change management. Then we'll have one on women leadership. Then we may have on family businesses. But all Indian stories, because we attempt to bring about ideas and thoughts that will finally result, and that is my personal aspiration, in the transforming of the leadership ethos of India. And that is my attempt in these magazines. I would strongly recommend that you have a subscription form. Just write to an email and we will send you an e-copy free of cost for at least 6 months. And I hope you greatly enjoy and learn from it. Feel free to give us feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj. So ladies and gentlemen, they have very kindly agreed to give a 6-month free subscription to all the delegates at this forum here today. So thank you, Raj. I'm going to give you your copy, and I'm going to request everyone on the stage to please join me as we release together the Leadership Review. So ladies and gentlemen, the Leadership Review.